We're live. Welcome to the Writer's Life, the place where you get the sight, sound, smells, taste of my particular writer's life. I don't know why this is here. And where you get the truth about my writer's life. Not the time to be house cleaning, right? Subscribe if you haven't already. Punch the like button. Tap the bell for notifications so you don't miss out on one single exciting video. Hang on a second. So hope everybody had a good weekend. Next weekend's gonna be crazy with the election coming up, right? I guess Trump had a massive rally at MSG down in the city. Thank God I wasn't down in the city, right? Imagine trying to catch a train in Penn Station through 100,000 plus people who stood outside and a few got inside, I guess. Must have been crazy. Must have been absolutely crazy. Anyway, I'm so happy that the election's going to be over in a week. I can't wait. Seeing some crazy posts on Twitter and stuff, especially coming from writers. I don't understand where some of them are coming from, but I don't know. Anyway, I don't want to get into that. Writers Word Media came out with their poll, their annual poll, and the state of independent writing and hybrid authorship like me and traditionally published authorship. And it was illuminating. It's always illuminating. They poll like 1,500 people, they say. I don't know. I guess that's a fair, fair pool to choose from. I'm not sure what their demographic is or anything like that, but I'm sure it's a good representation of everything. But anyway, I was shocked to learn that out of all the books published, like 75%, if not more, are independently published. That took me a little by surprise. I thought it might be like 35% or something like that, right? But no, it's like the vast majority. That tells me, because when I started full time back in '99, yes, back in the old century, you either published traditionally or you didn't publish. So it was like almost 100% of the authors were traditionally published, right? I mean, there were a few outliers who self-published or whatever, and you didn't even like look at them. They were like, they couldn't make it, so they self-published or whatever. That's the stigma that it had back then. In a way, it was deserved because if you can't make it through the gates of the gatekeepers, then you didn't deserve to be published. That was the attitude, and I had to fight tooth and nail to get published as well as I did. Everything from my first newspaper story, my first magazine story, my first literary magazine story, to my first book deal. And what a book deal it was. But now I embrace the independent side big time, obviously, because the opportunities there are just incredible. And that's what they mentioned. They just said it's a tough thing to pass up now, because there's so many opportunities. It's never been a better time to be a writer. If you have the talent, if you don't have the talent, then you screwed anyway. And like, oh well, I don't have the talent, so I'll go to AI. No, still isn't going to cut it. Sorry, you're still shit out of luck. Go do something else, where you can contribute to society and be a benefit to society. And it spoke about so it's about 75% writers or something, are independent, and then it was like none of this adds up to 100%, so I don't know. Another 17%, no, I should have the information from me, right? Another 7.5% are hybrid authors like me, In other words, we publish traditionally and independently, which I think is the best way to go. You get best of both worlds. I think that's the way to go. I didn't put out a book traditionally last year, but it was on purpose because, well, number one, I didn't have anything to give to one of my publishers, but number two, I was really concentrating on filling up the Bear Media library. So, anyway, this year I'll do at least 2 books in 25, probably more like 3 with a traditional publisher. And another like 6% are strictly traditional now. Again, that's shocking. Like now it's to only 6% of all the authors out there publish strictly traditionally. That's incredible. It didn't give the information on like what the traditional, the average income for the traditional publisher is, but that for the traditionally published author. But I would have found that very interesting, and I'll probably try to look that up. I think hybrid authors do generally pretty well. Anyway, but they spoke about income, and they're like, what was your greatest motivation? What's your greatest motivation for publishing independently and or hybrid? And the first thing is money. That's one of my huge motivations. I got to I got to eat. I got to travel, all that stuff. I got to have a roof over my head. Leave a little bit behind for the kids. All that stuff. Pay my taxes. All that good stuff. Maybe go on a date now and then, which I haven't done in a while. Dating's expensive. Have you gone on a date recently? Any of you single guys or gals out there? It's like, open the chat just in case. It's like, okay, you go out to dinner somewhere. Like, it's got to be a decent place, right? Especially if you want to get a little later. It's got to be a decent place. So that's going to run you $150. Drinks, whatever. Maybe at the bar, that's another $50. I don't know if you see a movie, that's another $50. But when you get home at night with her, depending on your situation, priceless. Anyway, I digress as always. Hey, it's Tim. Well, what have we here? A live stream. Yes, we do. Tim was telling me earlier that he almost met Ben Orr, the late bassist of the Cars. Take her to Chuck E. Cheese's. I'll get nothing out of that, Tim. Nothing. Unless she's low IQ. Oh, thanks for taking me to Chuck E. Cheese's. All right, this is getting bad. So where was I before I so rudely interrupted myself? Okay, so main motivation is money. Okay, so we got that. And second motivation was like, for the love of writing. That's great. We all love to write. Third motivation was like, it's a nice, fun hobby. Like, last motivation was something like, I just had to get this story off my chest. Okay. To me, it's all the above. And then what else did they say? What else did they report on? So much. Income streams per month per how many books you have out. The mathematical equation. I've been saying for years, like the more product you have in your store, the better you're going to do, right? It only makes more sense. More books means more money. So the more prolific you are, the better off you're going to do. If you're going to have just like 5 books, so like, unless one of them just so happens to go nutty, I guess. And I looked at like they have a chart, and it's like number of books and income per month. And I'm pretty close to right on, pretty close. I'm actually a little bit behind. And I don't know if that's because I'm the hybrid author guy or not, because it's not including that money. But I'm pretty close. And after 25, I'll have reached like another I don't know, another stage of monthly income, which so I got that going for me, right? And so everything, it's good to see this stuff because it kind of validates what you're doing, and because we all, us writers, right, we all live in a vacuum, and we don't, sometimes we get out, but we're on our own. And so I was like, oh, okay, I must be doing something right. But the one thing you need to do, no question about it, marketing is huge. After all, written word media put this together, and they're a marketing outfit. But so go figure. But I use them a lot. I use them more than I do advertising. BookBub is the golden, the golden standard. But written word media is not bad either. And if you stack a bunch of promos, it works almost as well as a BookBub, and it's actually still less money. So I just do very little in the advertising realm of things. It's funny because when I go days without putting money into advertising, first of all, the way I do it is I modify my ad spend on a daily basis. Some people might say that's crazy, like it would drive me nuts. It just takes a couple of seconds to go to a book or two and just say, well, today I'm willing to spend $5 in advertising. The $5 ends up being about 15 because Amazon, if you're advertising on Amazon, they have the ability to like up your bid a little bit. So it might end up being $15, but you could sell one book, but then like down the couple of days down the road or a couple of days later, you might sell 2 or 3 more because of that one sale. Am I in the weeds with you guys right now? Oh, I'll stop. But anyway, I just don't like spending that much money on advertising. I don't mind. I just like the marketing better, the marketing opportunities. Because I'm really impatient and I see the results. You don't see the results from advertising right away. I mean, you do to a degree, but you really have to give it the month. But with marketing, you see the results like right away. I like that stuff. Like I said, very impatient. What else is Tim saying? Ben Orr loved his voice. Chicks dug him. Guys wanted to be him. My hero. He had a mullet, I think, Tim. I did not want to be Ben Orr. Or maybe I'm thinking of Rick Ocasek, the singer. He had a mullet. I don't know. I was never a big Cars fan. But Tim's from Boston. They're from Boston. Now, Tim knows everything there is to know about just about every band on the planet. I'll have to have him on one day and ask him a bunch of cool questions. Because remember, this is the writer's life. It's not necessarily always about writing. Today it is. So I haven't actually finished the whole article, but I got that far because those were like the juicy bits. But so far, the common denominator is the more prolific you are, the more talented you are, the better you're going to do. Simple as that. And in my opinion, my humble opinion, you can't go wrong if you publish traditionally and independently. It's best of both worlds. Some traditional publishers aren't going to like it. They're going to get pissed off because you spend a lot of time on your independent label. But the publishers I work with don't. Others will, and they'll even make you sign a non-compete clause. But I wouldn't work with them if they did. So there you go. You don't have to take their contract. I know a lot of you guys out there, especially if you're newbies, you're like, I just want a contract. I just want a contract. I don't give a fuck what it says. I just want to sign it and show it to all my friends, show it to my parents or whatever, show it to my wife, my husband. But believe it or not, you will reach a point where you're not going to like contracts and you're going to say, fuck you, no, don't want it. Sorry, unless you can improve upon it. That'll happen. All right, one more thing from Tim, then I got to roll. Rick had the mullet and the supermodel wife. Yes, he did. I think he was like 7 feet tall, something like that, something crazy. Yeah, he had the supermodel wife. I forget her name. All those rock and rollers. Say a prayer for Matthew Sweet, who had a debilitating stroke a few days ago. He might be done in terms of career. I think he's got to relearn everything. Poor guy, 60 years old. Something happens at 60. I don't know what. The light goes on, and the engine light goes on, and something always breaks. Anyway. All right, that's all I got for you today. Check it out, Written Word Media, their 2024 poll. It's very interesting. It was illuminating even. It's one of those things I like to read maybe 3 times before I finish, before everything really sinks in. All right, one more for Tim, who was running around on the red carpet with some other dude while they were still married. That sucks. See, that's why I'm single. Just can't stand the drama anymore. Can't stand it. I had enough. I had enough of the drama. I'm not saying I'm going to stay single forever. Who knows? Mrs. Andrew number 3 might be out there somewhere. Is it you? Is it you? Is it you? Who knows? We'll have to see. But right now, ain't gonna happen. All right, that's all I got. I will try to come to you guys on Wednesday. Maybe I'll try to pick up a guest this week as well, or have a guest, not like pick up a guest. But anyway, all right. And ciao, fucking ciao.